Alright, this is Calibos, and we are playing Stoneblock 2. So, when we last left off, I just finished setting up these, or, starting to set these up. You can tell that with the facades here that I went ahead and wired everything up correctly. So, not only are these wired, but we've gone ahead and... does this not have... Okay, so we need to drop some of those in there. Okay, perfect. So we've gone ahead and put in, not recipes yet, but all of the, let's see, the interfaces here. And it should show up here, oh, wrong one. Infuser diamond, infuser obsidian. So this one, for example, is the infuser obsidian, and we're going to be putting obsidian into this one. So we want to auto sort. Yeah, that's fine. So auto sort is all set up. And this is going, the crafting card's in there because the plan is when we're exporting it, we're going to be crafting a thing, and we want it to set up. So our next step is, in order to use the this diamond one here, we can't actually put diamonds into it, like raw diamonds. And I don't remember if I ran into that, at the beginning of last episode. We also can't put raw obsidian in here. So what we need to do is we need to set up what we do need to put in here. So in order to, doesn't have it. In order to set up what we want to do, so we'll put a, what are they called? They're called infusing. Infuse. So uses for this, infuser. So you'll notice the compressed carbon. And then if we come over here to, here we go. So we can either do crushed diamonds, or diamond dust, which is also crushed diamonds, or we can do compressed diamond. And we're going to need to be doing something similar for this one. It'll be compressed obsidian. So the compressed diamond is going to be made in the enrichment chamber. And then if we're looking at the compressed obsidian, we'll have to do that in the enrichment chamber as well. And we'll need refined obsidian dust, which is going to be made in the metallurgic infuser once we have diamonds. So we'll do the diamond one first. Now, you'll notice that we can do compressed carbon, compressed redstone, compressed diamond, and compressed obsidian. So they're all basically made in the enrichment chamber. And so we're not going to be using compressed carbon for anything, but I am going to be putting compressed redstone in here as soon as we can make it. And we don't especially need to, but what it does for us is, if you take one piece of redstone and you compress it, it counts as 8 pieces of redstone afterwards. So we won't use as much redstone for keeping our infusing factory up there going. Same for the diamond and the obsidian, really. And yeah, that's not really a big deal in this setup, because I mean, if we look at redstone, I've got 43,000. But it's a good practice to be in when you can, because A, you never know when you're just going to need it. And B, if you are doing it always, then when you get into a pack where it's necessary, then you can, you've already got it going. You don't have to work at it. Anyway, enrichment chamber. So the enrichment chamber is going to basically be made like so. And we'll go ahead and put this down here. Accept. And then we're going to ask it to make one and see what we need. So we need to teach it how to make a steel casing, which is not super difficult for us. We'll add steel casing to the mix, which is fine because we're actually going to need steel casings for a lot of the things. And one of the reasons that they actually have you make the infusing factory first, you'll notice the recipe for the infusing factory, or the metallurgic infuser, this thing, does not require any steel. So this is one of the first machines that you make in mechanism, and it leads to all the other machines. This machine is how you make steel in mechanism. So we don't have to worry about that because we've got a chicken somewhere that's, you know, producing steel somehow. I have no idea how a chicken would actually do that, but it's doing it. So sure, whatever. But we take the metallurgic infuser, and you know that's basically any one of these, and you put carbon in here. So, and that's coal or charcoal, and then you put iron through here. So once you put an iron through here, you get enriched iron. Then you put the enriched iron back through, and it turns that into steel. So in this pack at least, and in most circumstances, there's not really a reason to there's not really a lot to do with the enriched iron except feed it back through. So I generally don't keep a large supply of it. Anyway, so one of the things to be aware of here is we're going to pull this facade off. So the facade is there. So we have 6 channels going into the peer-to-peer tunnel, and then above the peer-to-peer tunnel we have dense smart cable with, as you can see, 4 channels on it. So it's basically, I don't remember what all the channels go to off the top of my head, but it's unimportant. So the plan is, so the cabling goes along here and then drops straight down to there. I've actually got a cable anchor there to keep it from touching. You see? And the plan is we're just going to go ahead and bring, let's get rid of dirt. We're going to open up this section of the wall. I want the machine, I don't want to put it there. I mean, I guess we could. So, best not to, I guess. Because we don't want to, that only has room for 2 more channels. So we could theoretically put it right here. Maybe that's what I'll do actually. So let's get our dirt, handy dandy dirt. Let's put our enrichment chamber down. Pull the dirt back out. And then the enrichment chamber is pretty cool in that it doesn't actually require anything except the power itself, which we'll provide. So we want another flux point. That is not how I spell flux. That is how I typo. So flux point. Put it there, and we'll click it to more power. And then we're going to take an interface. We're actually going to need 2 interfaces. Honestly, I vastly wish that I could do this with 1, but I am not sure off the top of my head how to do that. So we're going to grab an input interface. It's just a regular interface. If you'll recall, I have just changed the name in the Anvil. That's what those are called, Anvil. And then we're going to need a regular interface. I don't think I've named, so we'll call this one, we'll make one called enrichment chamber. Why are we not? Oh, because So we're going to pop that through there. We're going to put it there. So now we're going to tell it that the input is on the right. Output is, hopefully this is the back. Auto eject is on. Then we're going to take some smart cable, pop it down there. And so we should have 7 channels. Honestly, what if I do this? One channel, go. And now we should have 8 through there. I'm not planning on doing anything else there, so it should be fine. I mean, I guess I can change it if something happens later. Alright, close enough. So now we have the enrichment chamber, and like the other stuff, it feeds into the back, or should. So if we take a piece of redstone, for example, okay, we're going to go ahead and clear this. We're going to want that there. And then we're going to feed this through the enrichment chamber. It should immediately drop into the system. Perfect. So now we can go ahead and say that that is that. So let's go ahead and get, I don't even remember which one of these machines have upgrades. So does this one have upgrades? Do any of these have upgrades in them? Okay, so let's go ahead and make some speed upgrades. And we can do 8 per machine. We have 4 machines, so that works out to 32. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do this. Yeah, see how it's going faster now? Perfect. Even faster still, faster than that. So now we're going to swap this out. We have, we made one of those. So let's look at redstone again. Redstone, grab this. And now we want to change this for that, and it's going to specifically export the compressed redstone, which we should be crafting here. And now we can drop these in here. Now again, for efficiency purposes, I do recommend, even, we don't especially need them. but we are going to begin, I don't know, crafting them. So if we want to make pulverized gold, crusher, pulverizer, centrifugal separator, enrichment chamber. So now if we say, okay, so let's go back to this enrichment chamber. So from ore. So we're now our next step is 1. So we have all of these. We have all of these. So assuming that we want compressed diamond, so change this to processing, clear this pattern, and do like that. Now we can come to this enrichment chamber. Then we can go ahead and ask for compressed diamond. Take this one and pop it into that. So this should be the diamond one. Diamond, yes. So see how it's going up in chunks of 8? Now we need an installer, the basic installer. Crank that, turn auto sort on. Alright, so now it's going to be able to keep up with our demand a lot better between the upgrades and the auto sort. It should still be trying to put stuff in there. Yeah, there we go. Alright, perfect. And this is actually going to keep a number of them going. So we'll have extras because of the way that it tries to fill them. So now if we take some gold, okay, in order to do the next step, we're actually going to need to make a crusher. So, from mechanism, yes. Change this to pattern. So that we're going to throw down for in here. So now I would like to go ahead and make some fire seeds. So one of the reasons that I'd like fire seeds, and I don't know why I just made a pattern for it, because we're only ever going to do it once. Lava, we have 2 buckets. So let's go ahead and make a bucket. So one of the reasons that I'd like to make fire seeds, I've got lava somewhere around here, I guess. By the way, I died an extra time. I'm going to fill up that entire wall. You guys will probably mock me for it, but it is what it is. So we have, pop these in there. So we need Prudentium Essence and we need Tier 2 crafting seeds. So base crafting seeds a recipe for it? No. Base crafting seeds. Go. Tier 1 crafting seeds. Go. Tier 2 crafting seeds. Go. Tier 3. Tier 4. I know, right? This is crazy and complicated. Tier 5. And Tier 6. So now we're just going to chuck all of this in here. Now, I'm not as worried about this being specifically for I'm not as worried about because that's this set here. I'm not as worried about them being specifically for mechanism. One of the reasons that I would like all of the AE2 stuff to be in one chunk where I can find it pretty easily is I'm never quite sure where all the recipes are, and so I'm simply doing this to make them more easily findable, really. But anyway, so one of the reasons that I care about this in the first place, so we're going to need some tier 2 crafting seed go. So we need Prudentium Essence. Master. So Essence. Oh my gosh. Master. There we go. So this is a little bit trickier because one of the problems with the AE2, so if I now ask it for essence, and I tell it that I want, you know, a bunch of these, so say 100. Okay, well, it didn't turn out to be a problem this time. But one of the problems that I run into sometimes is the actually, let's do this. Go. One of the problems that I run into is if it tries to craft it in multiple, so I use this kind of rectangular solid here, three-dimensional rectangular, you know, cuboid shape, whatever you want to call it. Every adjacent molecular assembler, so the interface is where the recipe is, right? So if there's a recipe in this one that I'm pointing at, it will try to craft it in all 4 of the adjacent molecular assemblers. So if I have only one stone, then it's going to go ahead and be... Why is there no water in here? That's annoying me. So... there should be water in this one. Okay, whatever. Alright, so I need to make some more servos. I'll probably do it afterwards. So we'll take care of that in the next episode or something. I actually haven't finished setting up this room at all. So that's one of the things that I'm going to do. And I have discovered that it doesn't care about these at all. So, doesn't matter because they auto output right into the pipes. See, it's going to grow up, do its thing, essence goes away, auto output. So I need to finish all the piping for these and set this all up. And it's not going to be a super hassle, just kind of annoying. I'll have to make a couple of ender tanks, make sure they're all connected, make sure everything is wired up on the bottom. This is kind of where I actually expect to run into trouble, is this middle area. So I'm not sure that, because the piping is going to be here. The piping is going to be here. So I wasn't sure that I would have enough room for everything, and that's kind of where I'm at. I don't even know if I have enough of these garden cloches for all the seeds. So we'll take care of that at some point in the future. Right now I'm just adding them as I need them. And by the way, we apparently have finished a quest somewhere. Mystical agriculture quest. Crafting seed. Go. Oh look, more climbing gloves. That's great. Alright, so I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. I feel like we got quite a bit done. I mean, I could be wrong, I guess. But, yeah, I hope you folks have a good night.